He is the man of the hour. Here he is, Jesse. One of the coolest people I've ever met. Let me just tell you.
Yermi, Baruch, it's a privilege to be here with both you guys, and to be here on this episode of Growth is probably the most special part of all, because like Baruch said, I truly believe it is the foundation, to so much success out there, and being able to pick yourself up after these mistakes to learn and to continue to grow. So again, it's a blessing, it's a privilege to be here with both you, and I can't thank you enough for having me on.
Thank you so much for your service and everything that you're doing for our country and just in general. I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, it's a privilege to be here with both of you. And what you guys are doing is true service and helping people grow and become irresistible and attain, their true potential. So thank you for everything you guys do. And like I said, I thought the episode this morning was a blast. If people haven't checked that out yet, go check it out. And this is going to be the perfect icing to the cake.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, let's give everybody a little bit of an introduction to who you are. So as everybody knows now, our guest tonight is Jesse Futia, a fascinating individual, I must say. He's 26 years old, a prior U.S. Army Ranger. I don't know, is that something that you ever really leave, though? So he's a U.S. Army Ranger. As Jeremy mentioned, he has provided a great service to our country, so we're extremely grateful for that. He began investing in real estate at the age of 20 with his family, and he helped build that portfolio to 50 total bedrooms, which is a very interesting way of looking at real estate. And I know we're going to talk more about that because that's fascinating as well. At the end of 2020, he made the jump into commercial real estate and is now focusing on self-storage, RV parks, mobile home parks, and alternative investments. Jesse, welcome to the show. I mean, we've already welcomed you, but we're welcoming you again. It's funny because for years, I always heard about real estate, and I always said, there's no way I could do it. But the more I speak to Yermi and the more I speak to people that Yermi is introducing me to, and now that we've got to we got to speak to you a little bit. It's like it's very different, and especially the way you present it. So Jesse, let's get back to you so I can stop talking. Tell us a lot of it about what you do now, kind of how you got there, the story, I guess your life story, kind of. Where you started from and where you are now, what you do, and then we'll dive further into that.
Yeah. And again, it's a privilege to be here. I'm having a blast already. I love the live show format because it's just sending it live. There is no editing. I love that. So please keep doing that. But yeah, it's great to meet everybody. For everyone out there who doesn't know, I'm Jesse Futia. I grew up in upstate New York. Right outside the capital of Albany. And I got started in real estate in college. So I was 20 years old. I went to a state school in Albany and I was moving off campus. All the houses that we were looking at to live in were all these crappy houses, to be honest. They were owned by what I'd call probably a slumlord or someone that just pulls money out of the property, rips the tenants off, doesn't care about, making the property better or whatever. So with no real estate experience at all, I pitched my father, and he doesn't have any real estate experience. And I said, Dad, I think we can buy this house together. Obviously I can live in the house. I can help manage it. I can help find the tenants. I can rent it. I'll be there 24/7. Let's go on this venture together. And that was a good idea. 6 years ago, that now we've scaled to 7 total properties and 50 total bedrooms. So Baruch made that comment of it's an interesting way to look at real estate because in student housing, you're able to rent by the bedroom as opposed to renting by the unit because none of the tenants are related to each other. They're all, college kids. It's not, families or anything like that. So that first property was a duplex. It was a 4-bedroom, 1 bath on each side of it. So it was 8 total bedrooms. So this one duplex we bought and, it rented similar to an 8-unit apartment building does because we rented it by the bedroom. So that was our first experience. And we were, we set ourselves away from the pack immediately by taking care of our tenants, putting that monthly cash flow back into the property. I mean, I'm talking, we're putting, stainless steel appliances in this property. We're doing personal carpentry, redoing the bathrooms, the kitchens, not things that you see in your typical college house or that, kids going to a state school even that, get to experience. So, and I think it speaks to the level of product that we provided, seeing that, we're at 100% occupancy. We're at a waiting list out the door and around the corner. People are texting us on a weekly basis. Do you have any openings? And we've never invested any money into marketing. It's literally just been word of mouth by providing a product that's better than the competition at a price that beats the competition. It's a no-brainer. But that's just a little bit of how I got started. And then I'd say probably about 18 or 24 months ago, probably right around the end of 2020, I kind of made the decision of like, hey, there's these guys out there that are buying these apartment buildings and these mobile home parks and these self-storage. I was so naive back then. I thought these were all billionaires that owned these spots until I came across the world of commercial real estate syndication, which, from a 40,000 foot view is we're just pooling money from private investors to buy larger assets. So I've gone face first into that world. I've networked, my butt off over the last 18 months. I found my way onto several teams here, which is awesome. I love adding value through, many different ways, connecting with investors, boots on the ground, due diligence. And now we focus on self-storage, RV parks and mobile home parks, primarily in Oklahoma, Texas, and really the Sun Belt states as a whole. But I want to get talking about growth. I want to get what your guys' thoughts are on that. But that's a little bit about me, Baruch. Where I started, a little bit of the journey, and where I'm at today. So wherever you guys want to go from here, just let me know.
Awesome.
That's incredible. I mean, just the story of how you started with the whole the rooms and like the thinking out of the box in that kind of way is in itself exceptional. It's just amazing. And then the fact that you really set yourself apart from everybody else. And I know that when you and I met, I was just blown away when you told me that, you're all about, like, your mission is really to improve the life of the renter, the person who's renting that apartment, the person who's giving them a good experience. I mean, I hated every single minute of renting. When I was renting any apartment, I hated every single minute of it. It's like the fear that you get when you're calling about a clogged toilet that is not your fault or whatever, and then just the reaction of the landlord and stuff like that. And to hear a person who's coming from the landlord perspective and saying something like, how could I improve the life of the renter, to me is something called irresistible and something called exceptionally irresistible. So that earned you the invitation to this discussion.